I'm Amelia from Healing Herbs. I recently posted on some Facebook groups regarding the concept of pharmacy in your field, and it became apparent that a little explanation video would be really helpful. So here we are. It's a course sparked by questions in other social media groups that was, what is this plant? Should I spray it? Should I pull it up? Is it safe? And it became obvious that while people are very conscious about their horse's health and they want things nice and natural, there isn't always enough information about common pasture plants, or weeds as we tend to think of them. And there is more and more research showing that botanical diversity improves the gut biome health. So you tend to see less of insulin resistance, COPD, weakened immune system and such like, when there is greater botanical diversity in the horse's field. So this course is to encourage us to value these plants, to become comfortable with them, and to find uses for them for ourselves, so that we might leave them in the field, and also the horses then can self-select should they want to. And that's the basis of how Pharmacy in Your Field came to be. And what we've done is we've broken it down into neat little modules. So it will begin with why we use herbal medicine, how to ethically harvest these plants, how to store them, dry them, and then there is sections on each individual plant on how to identify them, and there are clear photographs, often including my hand to show scale, because I find scale is missing from a lot of these things. There are embedded hyperlinks to non-technical botanical descriptions, and often videos as well of the plants that we're talking about. And there's suggestions for further identification or books should you feel you need to go that far. The point is, there are 20 common pasture plants, almost invasive weeds, pretty much the world over, so you shouldn't struggle to find most of them. And there's ideas on how to find them as well. We also cover in the course the plant's energetics, so that you can use the energetics of the plant to counter and balance perhaps a problem that the horse has. And that will become clear as you go through the course. And then of course there's the recipes. We'll use these wild weeds or herbs to make as many recipes as we can, and some will be simple, using the herbs to make perhaps a tea for a cough, or for joint support. There are also salves for bites, stings, there are wound repair salves, tissue repair salves for deeper problems. There are formulas for poultices and for fomentations. There are cooling liniments to combat summer heat. I'm wearing some now because it's a horribly muggy day here, and it really is working. There are liniments for sore muscles. There are formulas for pain relief. There are field-safe fertilisers, training treats, eye drops for goopy eyes for when perhaps you've had flies around the horse's face. There's the mane and tail spray, and there are wound sprays, insect repellent formulas. There's all sorts. There's even, I've put in a couple of recipes for the human. So this is a no-mess hand lotion in a bar that you can leave on the yard. It's made with these plants. It's very soft and conditioning on the skin. It's easy to manage. You can see when it's going to run out. There's no messing around with it, and it really is divine on the skin. If you can make it, it's very simple. Go ahead, do it. Take the time. Each recipe is in 3 formats. One audio file so that you can just listen while you're working. One video so that you can watch and see what I'm talking about in real terms. And one written. And that written form will also be available as a PDF so that you can download and make your own physical book of recipes, or an e-book of recipes, so you really do then have your own pharmacy in your field. I get asked a lot about equipment, plain old kitchen gear. We don't need anything fancy or special. I don't want people to have to buy things. This is supposed to be an inexpensive alternative. You shouldn't need to be buying any tools. I make most of my recipes out here in the woodland on this little fire, or without heat. I tend to make everything as much as I can out here, so it demonstrates how easy it is to do. If you wanted to make every recipe that is covered, you might need to buy 3 or 4 inexpensive consumables to make them up, but certainly no tools. And I've been asked, why make when you can buy? Well, cost, accessibility, quality. So in terms of cost, you could go to a store and buy a large pot of wound salve or gel, or you could have it delivered. So it's around £10 to £12 plus postage and packaging, or even the cost of a trip and the time taken to go to a tack store and buy some. You can make an equivalently effective salve in the same size for about £2, so £10 to £12 in the shop, £2 if you make it yourself, or thereabouts. Wound powders, they tend to be around £7 or £8. We can make a similar amount for 50p, so it's hugely more cost effective. If you make something yourself, it'll always be there. You'll always be able to make more because the ingredients are just there, particularly if you've stored them and dried them for later use. And in terms of quality, you know exactly what's in them. The ingredients haven't been shipped halfway across the world. They're from the same environment that your horse lives and eats in. So in terms of biocompatibility, these are generally superior. But you know where all this has come from, you know what's in there. There's nothing been added that you're not aware of. And I think that can be quite peace of mind giving. Lastly, the properties and the uses that we discuss in the course have been verified in clinical studies. So we're not talking about what Auntie Mabel used to do, although that may be effective. We're not talking about folklore, we're talking about known fact. So if we say that this salve here repairs wounds because it's antifungal, it's vulnerary, then we know that that's true. The styptic powder that will stop bleeding, these are proven qualities. We know that the bleed will stop. I've tried and tested them, but we know that the ingredients will do what they say they do because they've all been evaluated in clinical studies for their own plant properties, which is a useful thing, I think, to know. So we're available exclusively on the Equine Academy. There is a free session taster course of Pharmacy in Your Field where you can make up this mane and tail conditioner and see what you think of the course. There are other free courses. Of course, there are paid for courses as well. There are monthly open nights and webinars that are all free. So please come and join us. The Equine Academy has a student group as well where you can get in touch with other students from this course, and you may be able to discuss substitutions that you might be able to make using the energetics and the plant properties if you can't find one of these quite common plants. Or you could contact another student and arrange to swap and show off your products. These are really easy and simple to make. I've done them. They're cruelty free. I've had a great time doing this, and I've now got a huge supply of things for my horses. They're also, generally I use them on the other animals as well, so I've used them on cats, dogs, myself, my husband, even the occasional chicken and duck. So there we are. That's the Pharmacy in Your Field by Healing Herbs. If you've any more questions, please get in touch, and I hope to see you over on the Equine Academy soon.